Yes, okay, so the Rockers and the Orient Express. This is match 10. Or, sorry, I guess it's match 9 of the pay-per-view, but match 10 of the overall show, because there was a dark match, would you believe, on this show. Yeah, they didn't have enough matches already. The Orient Express against the Rockers. It's a 7.5-minute match, and it ends when Sato throws salt in Marty Jannetty's eyes, and Jannetty falls over the guardrail, having been blinded by that salt, and this results in him being counted out.
Now then, let's get into the talking point of this match, and it's that finish.
I knew that was going to be what it was.
oh yeah. Like I said, this was a pretty decent match. In fact, it was shaping up to be probably one of the best things on the show. And I've literally, I will read verbatim what I put down in my notes for the finish. In block capital letters, get out of here, is that a count out? I was absolutely dumbfounded that that's what they did. And not only was it just an awful, terrible finish, but it's one that we've seen on some of these shows multiple times now. And to be fair to you, Ben, I know you've kind of given a bit of a reason for them doing it, so they can run back some of these matches on like the house show loop and things like that. And I understand that, but it still pisses me off. It's just not a good enough reason for me to have finishes like this on this show, especially when you've got how many matches were on this card, did we say?
There's 15 if you count the dark match, which we haven't seen. So
15 matches on this card. You know, all these WrestleMania cards up until now have had matches close to that, and it's like, you know, if you're going to do a finish like that, just don't bother. Cut the match out. There's no need to do it, and especially one which was shaping up to be pretty good. And is there any reason why they couldn't have just had one team beat the other? They still could have run it back at the house shows. There's no reason why they couldn't have done it. And again, like it was such a shame because it was working out to be really good. I enjoyed, you know, Shawn Michaels was great in it. They were all great in it. But just, I can't stand these, you know, there was another count-out finish on the show. You know, it wasn't the only egregious one here. You know, there was more than one. There's just no need for it. And we have to stop it. And power to the people. We must stop. We must stop these finishes.
So, Matt, again, I feel like I've had to do this a couple of times in the last few weeks. This happened a long time ago. There's no way for us to go back and retrospectively stop it. It happened. If we wanted to have that particular campaign, we needed to have it back in 1990.
If I have access to a time machine, I'm not going back to change this finish. I've got a top probably 50 places, things in my life I'd like to go back to, and none of them is this, essentially. So, yeah.
I believe this is top of Matt's list. He'd go back and go, look, guys, you don't want to count out here. Just have a really tidy little pinfall. You know, I actually, though I've given that excuse a number of times, Matt, I would tend to agree with you in terms of they don't need to do it. And actually, most of the time, I don't think they need to do it. I think just at the time, they were just more conservative about it. That's not to say that they were right to be conservative about it. I just think that they were. I actually like this ending, not necessarily though for a WrestleMania match. I thought this was quite an original way to have a count-out finish with Jannetty effectively blinded and falling over the guardrail and not being able to get back in the ring. I thought for a count-out finish of a television match, I'm like, you know what? That's actually pretty cool. I'm quite happy with that. It wasn't like two people spit out to the floor, they brawl, they miss, or they forget that the referee's counting, and then they both get counted out. This was legitimately, he couldn't get back in the ring. The referee didn't see the salt. He was blinded. He fell over the guardrail, and he had no way of getting back within 10. So I quite like that, but I agree, WrestleMania we could do without it.
I think I have a theory, because Gorilla Monsoon said that the Rockers looked lethargic. So I reckon Marty and Shawn turned up after a night on Yonge Street in Toronto. My first ever strip club, I whispered it, was in Yonge Street at WrestleMania 18. I spent a lot of money in there. Bought a stripper a Subway after that, which was a humiliating moment. I'm not quite sure what me and my friend Lewis were expecting to happen after she came with us, but it wasn't that we got her a Subway. Yes, where was I? Oh, yes. I suspect Marty and Shawn turned up with an absolutely diabolical hangover after a night out in Toronto, and as a result, that's why this awful finish was booked. So they lost, because I suspect this might be the other way around.
Yeah, because they were quite well known, shall we say, infamous for their partying, and I believe they even got released from the company in sort of '87 after first kind of coming in and then being jumped out because they were like, well, you know, you can't behave yourselves. So well, you're probably right. That's probably what happened.
Brass Rail Tavern gets the best of you, gets the best of us in trouble.
Yeah, disappointing end to a good match. I thought that was the final note I've got about this one. It was good. It was good, and then that finish was disappointing. But as I said, I like the finish if you're going to do the count out finishes, give me this rather than the two guys just fall to the outside and forget that the referee's counting.
It's just so lame.